Truth and stories gotta collide. Alibis get swept aside. I got proof that can't be denied. The data don't lie, people do. Waves crashing, secrets in the tide. Facts and numbers side by side. Through the chaos I will abide. The data don't lie, people do. Look at the records, feel the vibe. Digits and bytes come alive. I stand tall with nothing to hide. The data don't lie, people do. Friends may twist and tongues may tie. Plausible tales shape the sky. In the end you can verify. The data don't lie, people do. It's in the matrix beyond the eye. Hard truth that's flying by. Evidence you can't defy. The data don't lie, people do. Look at the records, feel the vibe. Digits and bytes come alive. I stand tall with nothing to hide. The data don't lie, people do. The vibe, digits and bytes come alive. I stand tall with nothing to hide. The data don't lie, people do. Friends may twist and tongues may tie. Plausible tales shape the sky. In the end you can verify. The data don't lie, people do. Friends may twist and tongues may tie. Plausible tales shape the sky. In the end you can verify. The data don't lie, people do.
Hello everyone.
Just about on.
How are we? Hello everyone. I just remembered I've got a different microphone. Y'all can hear me alright? Hopefully you don't hear any background noise today. So, how's the volume? Y'all can hear me? Is it better sound today? Wow, it's pretty sensitive, isn't it? Yes. We're all good. Hell yeah, that's a little jazzy. Thanks, Boda Bob. I kind of like it too. All right. Can't hear me breathing like Bev. All right. So, wow, everything has been so active. Like, comment section is really active. I sound good? Thank you so much. So, let me just say hello to whoever's in the chat right now. Hey, Karma. How's it going? Thanks for joining us. Hello, Sue. What a day indeed. What a day indeed. It was all over the shop, wasn't it? I was on the edge of my on the edge of my seat the whole time. Bob, how's it going? Who else have we got here? All right, that's it. That's interactive in chat. So Greetings and salutations, y'all. Hello, Mark. Love and hugs from Lady Lake, Florida. Love and hugs right back, Mark. Wow, you should just hire someone, Bob. No, I'm being silly. Most people do, but and I do because I'm too far away from my block to be mowing it. But anyway, so oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about today. Wow, Alessi, no, AJ nailed the whole thing today. Like, it was frustrating that Bev shut him down and then had to do that little, sidebar idea thing. But I think it's good because it actually puts Commonwealth on notice that they need to bring up Proctor, and if they don't, their defence is going to. So if they didn't have any plans for it, they're probably reconsidering that today. I will not be surprised if they decide, okay, we got to get ahead of it and we just got to stick him on the stand. Hello, Dave's channel. Thanks for joining us. Damaging testimony today. Ridiculously damaging. AJ was fabulous. Indeed, he was. So, let me just get a little bit more comfortable here. Hang on a second. All right. Coffee in hand. Alan has all three fools on lockdown. He sure does. Hello, Miss Kay. Thanks for joining us. Yes, my gardener has just been 10 minutes ago. My gardener just finished my block. And I'm happy to announce, everybody, I passed my fire, whatever you call it. I was supposed to comply with fire regulations under a notice that the council sent out, which is ridiculous because on either side of my block, there's like 10-foot tall shrubbery in amongst giant trees, which is council property. So, if we get a fire, it's going to be their properties that are going to cause damage. But anyway, I complied. I got my inspection done yesterday and I'm in compliance. So, yay. But I did have to pay someone. Thankfully, not the sort of dollars I thought I was going to have to pay. Corny Pope, my lovely, how are you today? Happy Monday, everyone. It is indeed Tuesday here, but I get what you mean. Bob says, it's great to see Buchanan's facial expression when he puts the squeeze on. I wasn't really watching facial expressions, to be honest. I was indeed in bed and missed a lot of it. But you guys know I'm going to go back and watch it like at least 8 times because I've got to do some mashups for these things. So if you're wondering why I haven't done one for a bit, I'm trying to space them out. Oh, lovely. Good to hear. Where's Prince? Prince Lover has dinged up their car. Like holy crap. Dinged up their car. Been in a serious accident and I haven't seen them since. So keep your eyes out for Prince Lover and let me know if you've heard from them because it looks like 9th of May was the last time we heard from them when they posted their pics about their car. What a horrific accident. So, hey Lonsolo, live from the future indeed. Indeed. Oh, you're doing it too. Clippity clip clip clip. Yes, it's not good, Bob. So if anyone sees Prince Lover around, reach out and just make sure the family is fine, because I think there was a number, more than one person in the car, maybe. But I'm not sure. I'm not getting any replies. They're probably busy with, the whole insurance and whatnot. Screaming in your pillow. Well, that's what we have the vent stream for. Please vent. Whatever you want to say about Bev, type it in the chat and I'll put it on the screen and read it for you. I fell asleep at about 2:30 a.m. I'm still have to go back and watch. There's a few bits that I missed, but I did catch the main. I did catch the main pass. I mean, obviously, I was riveted as soon as it was Jackson back on the stand, but I fell asleep, with Bukaki's stupid runaround answers. I think he was like mid sentence when I dozed off. Jackson should have emphasized Yuri's previous testimony where he stated that he never went by the right rear taillight. He did, didn't he? Pretty sure I heard him do that. Pretty sure I heard him do that, but maybe you mean emphasized it more than he did. Yeah, I'll keep you posted soon as I find some replies from Prince Lover. Indeed, Prince Lover is solid. So where are we now? So let's talk about this video I did yesterday. Why did I do the video yesterday? Is anybody out there scratching their heads wondering why I decided to do a video about the wrong Chris? There were some people in the chat who were confused as to why I posted it. And it was really just to steer everybody on track before I got 10,000 messages from everybody saying, "Did you see this video, Aussie? Did you see that, Aussie? Should go look at this, Aussie." So I sort of predicted that was going to happen because it happens every time. And so I went and had a look at it and I thought, that looks weird. So I went and checked and I see Total Boy has kind of denounced that. And I thought, well, there must be a reason he's denouncing it. He must have found something. And here's the thing, he's local. He's in Massachusetts. He's in that area. He's got access to FOIA records and whatnot. And I know he does FOIA a lot of stuff if he needs the background information. So since he's denounced it, I'm like, well, there must be something out there. And I don't have access to FOIA. I can't FOIA shit from Australia. That's not doable. So he did he? Thank you, Tommy CPU. Mentioned my video. Cool. But yeah, here's the thing. I've got no subscriptions at the moment to any of my OSINT stuff. I cancelled all my subscriptions to literally everything except what I need to run my YouTube channel. And I did it all with free stuff. Like, I didn't even have to log in anywhere. So it was very easy to follow. The federal documents give you a name and an address. You look up that name and address in public records. You do a little compare there. I could have used OSINT tools, but I didn't need to because the federal documents link to a Federal Bureau of Prisons. Basically, I didn't need to go any deeper. Once I found that, I found the dude, I found his photos, I found his date of birth, And we still got people saying, nah, that's not right. That's the same Chris. I'm like, nah, look at the picture. It's not the same Chris. Like, you can argue it down to a point where, oh, he faked his date of birth. It's the wrong date of birth. He faked it. But if you're using Associated Press as your source for some date of birth match, that is only the press. I actually looked at the federal records, the sex offender registry. Those are federal records. You know, if you understand the difference between Associated Press misreporting something and federal fucking records, then I don't know what to tell you. Clearly, you're not cut out for OSINT. So, yeah, essentially, that's where we're at. We still have some deniers in the House who don't believe the federal records, and this to me is dumb. I want to say dumb. This for me is dumbfounding in itself, because in the Karen Reid trial, we are pro federal intervention. We're saying, come on, feds, get your shit together and get in here and do something. But then we go over to these Chris Albert records and we're like, yeah, nah, the feds are lying. Nah, the feds, they don't know what they're talking about. And I don't know how people make these justifications in their own head. So whether you believe, the feds have some political fixation for self-preservation, or if you believe that, as I do, regardless of their political fixations, they have all the tools, right? They have all the tools. They have all the laws on their side to go and use those tools. They can bug your phones and bug your house and do whatever the hell they want to do. Find all your records, get all your geofencing data. The feds have that power. So yeah, I don't think they're going to misidentify the person that they're prosecuting in federal court. So, all right. Hey, Micah, thanks for joining us. Um, uh, yes, you'll work out who Prince Lover is, Compate, when they join us. You've seen them. I'm sure you have. So, um, right, they got all the resources and all the access. They lie, cheat, and steal. Exactly. They got all the resources, they got all the access, and they get away with lying, cheating, and stealing. So, yeah. Does anybody out there think they prosecuted the wrong guy, took photos of the wrong guy? Does anyone out there think Chris Albert's got federal pull so that he could get his own identity scrubbed and someone else's photograph put in his place in the sex offender registry? So yeah. Hey Chip, how's it going, Chip? Chip the taillight baby. How are you, my dear friend? So, no, that's right. Now you'll work it out because they're also a mod right alongside you. Anyway, I think I just wanted to share, the response, I guess, because this person is doubling down. I'm going to try and do it without, giving away a name. These are the actual federal court documents say. Ma'am, I read the court document. It doesn't say Christopher M. Albert. It just says Christopher Albert. And it doesn't give a date of birth. You're putting that date of birth in there because it came from Associated Press. They fucked it up, okay? 15 Franklin Street, Leominster, is what is attached to the dude whose photo I showed you. It is in fact not attached to Chris Albert. If he was sentenced to jail for 10 years, ma'am, how the fuck was he living in multiple different places with multiple different addresses and emails and phone numbers? Like, there's so much information there that disproves this just at a cursory glance in the public records. And people are like, oh, the public records aren't always accurate. Yeah, the public records are generally pretty close. They might have a couple of details wrong. They might miss one of your relatives that you haven't talked to in 50 years. But they're generally pretty good start. But you can go deeper with OSINT materials. So, the person who's doing this and saying this, I would suggest you use your OSINT tools. Clearly you're not. Clearly you're following your own confirmation bias, because it only took me how long did it take me, Lon Solo and I did a little deep dive on this yesterday. Took me like 10 minutes to work out, wrong dude. Took me a little longer to find the photograph, but anyway. Let's be crystal clear. Age 63 in the sex offender registry is incorrect. Oh, is that right? The feds have got it wrong, but the AP, the Associated Press report, they got it right. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. What do we tell this person who says that the press got it right, but the feds actually got it wrong? The feds prosecuted the wrong guy. 2 minutes, right? Exactly. um, there's quite a few Chris Alberts. There's 3 in Massachusetts. There's 3 Chris Alberts, and only one's a Chris M. Albert. The other 2 are not. I think one's a Chris G, I think, and the other one has no middle name. And the fact that he has no middle name is reflected in his prison records. He doesn't have a middle name. I don't know what's so hard for people to understand about that. The dude doesn't have a middle name. So, some parents don't give their kids a middle name. I know it's expected. I know it's probably standard. But this dude doesn't have a middle name. So, completely nonsensical. Anyway, what I think, look, the whole mission for me was not to debunk somebody. The whole mission for me was to stop you guys from coming to my channel and going, oh my God, it's the insider, go and check this out. No, I don't need to check it out. I already have. Done and dusted. So what generally will happen is someone will say something. A lot of people do it with the Truth and Transparency channel. They come running over here and tell me some gossip that the Truth and Transparency channel said. And I'm sorry, but I let that channel go into the dark night already, because that channel blamed Libby German's sister for murder. So, when you'd start doing shit like that, I'm out. I'm done. Do not speak to me about that channel anymore. Don't advertise them on my channel. Don't come and tell me what they've got to say anymore. That channel has sailed in my book. So, there's a couple of cases where she's done that. So I don't support that sort of behavior. That is exactly what I am against. So Lon says, as much as I would love to have been him, it just wasn't in the cards. Oh my God. It was in the ley lines, right? Not just the cards. It was also in the ley lines. Does everyone here have a middle name? I don't know. I don't know too many people that don't have a middle name, but I know you got a choice when you're filling out a birth certificate. So here in Australia, you got a choice. You don't have to have a middle name. We always run screaming to you as, oh, watch Melanie do it. Melanie does that when she wants the lowdown on the tech. Which, I don't mind helping out with the lowdown on the tech. Some of these things, like especially the tech, it could probably take you a week to actually find the answer that you're looking for, or to find the answer. If you're looking for a specific answer and you don't find it, but you keep looking until you find that answer, that's called confirmation bias. But it does help to have, your friendly tech on the side. And I don't always have the answers. My technical expertise is limited to a specific world of programming, databases specifically, because that's what I went to uni and studied. But we had some peripheral courses that we literally had to do in order to study databases. So math, obviously, physics, obviously, how to write a math formula, how to add up in decimal, hexadecimal, and binary. Those things are sort of like way at the start of the course before you continue into the stream of your the focus of your studies, basically. And my focus was databases. So I don't have all the answers. If you ask me about hardware, I literally have to go look it up or ask my son because he's better with hardware than I am. He's building, modern machinery, modern computers. I haven't built a computer, probably 30 years, 25 years since I built one. But he's doing it all the time now. Like he inherited that skill. But that means he's up to date. He keeps on top of things. He's probably had a lot more experience in electrical. He can wire shit up. He can solder. He can chip off and chip on and all that sort of crap. That's not something I ever got into. So when I have those kind of questions, I go to him and ask him. And if he can't answer it, then I go looking, AI, help me. If you know the keywords that you're searching for, AI is pretty good. If you don't know what keywords are and you're very vague, you're going to get a very vague answer. But the more specific you get, the more AI can like nail it down to what you're asking. So I know a lot of people don't agree with using the AI, but it does help you to sort of dig around in the nether regions, find the nether regions that you got to dig around in first. But that's how I get around things that I actually don't know. So obviously, I didn't know which Chris Albert it was when I first saw this video. I knew this rumor had been going around. I just didn't know the specifics of the rumor because I'd heard Aiden say, "Yeah, like no, that's not true. Different Albert." So this is the first time I heard the specifics of the rumor. So that's what made me go and look into it. And obviously, I didn't have any of the background information as to what the federal indictment was or any of that stuff. But the federal indictment literally tells you what it is. And there's no reason to doubt that the federal indictment got the wrong dude sitting in the courtroom, right? The actual court record shows he was 32 at the time of sentencing with a 1971 birth date, not 1961. No, the actual court records didn't say that. I don't know where you're getting that from. You've obviously got the wrong record because I pulled up this record number here and that record number is exactly what I typed into the federal website to find out that he is on the sex offender registry as a level 3. And it's that actual record number that gave me the birth date, 1961. So the fact that you think the AP report got everything right is your bad, not mine. So there is no alternate Chris Albert in Massachusetts federal crime records with a conviction. I'll agree with that. There actually is no other Chris Albert. There's only a Chris Albert, Christopher Albert, not a Christopher M. Albert. I searched the federal crime records for Christopher M. Albert. There isn't one. How the fuck you came up with one, I have no idea, but there isn't one. There's only a Christopher Albert with a birth date in 1961. A different man, born in 61, had been arrested, charged, and sentenced for the same crime. If that had happened, we would see 2 federal case files. No, ma'am. If only one fucking Chris was arrested for the same crime, then there's only one fucking case file. Like, I mean, please, what are we working on Trooper Dunning-Kruger logic here? Sorry, give me 1 sec. Got to do some throat clearing. I'm still a little phlegmy. I have to say, the hay fever is a lot less than it has been because we've got some rain come through to settle down all the dust and shit that's getting up my nose. I'm a lot less phlegmy than I have been, but I'm still a little sneezy and throat itchy. You have to be careful with those nether regions. That's right, Chippy. Trial 2 has the dumbest side plots. I know, right? Tracy says, my parents didn't give me a middle name when I was born. They did that to let me choose one once I was confirmed in the Catholic Church. Nice. Well, there's a reason that you might do it. She said the arrest happened at his in Leominster at his apartment. But Chris Albert has never lived in Leominster. He's lived in Canton his entire life. Correct. She reckons she has tracked 3 addresses that both Chris's share. And when I looked it up, I found no addresses that either of them shared. So Bob says, I used AI to research meds my doctor wanted to put me on. I could not find out if the med was made from stem cells or mRNA. AI told me it was a compounded formula. It was so much easier than Google. Right. If you're very specific and you tell it the exact meds that you're asking about, it will be specific in its answer. But if you're asking a vague question, then it will be a vague answer. Like an empty kid's bedroom, it's debunked. Good one, Lon Solo. A fact about that same girl, she thinks Wade will. I saw that. Is she one of Wade's wives? He's got a lot of wives on the internet. Is she one of Wade's wives? Higgins is officially a butt face caller. Jen the Couch Fairy says, Dad gave me my name, but he spelled it wrong. Whoops. That's funny. Kevy, good to see you, mate. Did you just join us, or have I just missed all of your chats? Because I was over on the other page reading shit. Kev the Supermod, I got a middle name at baptism and was allowed another when I was confirmed. There you go. I didn't know that being a Catholic actually had some relationship to whether or not you do or don't have a middle name. Just learning this myself. A confirmation name is a saint's name. Oh, that's what you're calling your middle name, a confirmation name. I gotcha. So this is the Catholic teaching, I guess. That explains why all these people suffer from bat dials when most of us don't. Indeed. So, no CC beads. Why would the feds cover up for Chris Albert? They're fucking hunting them right now. They're hunting the Alberts. Why are they going to cover up for them? First of all, this is multiple different departments. All right. This isn't just like one department that does everything. It's a prosecutorial department separate from a Federal Bureau of Prisons department, which is also separate from the sex offender registry. These are all completely different departments. So, no, I don't think they're covering up for Chris Albert. I mean, if his name was Biden or Trump, maybe they'd try and cover up for him, depending on whose side they swing towards. But no, why Chris Albert? Why would anybody cooperate with covering up for Chris Albert except for people who, already know his dark secrets, like D.A. Morrissey, for example? That's all very much a local thing that's going on. That doesn't spill over into the feds. And if it did spill over into the feds, do you think they would not have uncovered it by now because they just discovered he's involved in this cover up? They're all different departments. So no, I don't think he's got that political, clout where he could do it over multiple different departments. It's McAlbert season. Open season on the McAlberts. But anyway, so on top of all these different federal departments having to be in collision with each other in order to cover up for no-name Chris Albert that nobody fucking cares about, and certainly doesn't have any political pull, because, I mean, look, he's not running for frickin' mayor. He's on the select board. He's nobody. Besides that, you also have to consider whether the national database, which collects all this information from multiple different sources, like from prison records, court records, it's pulling from multiple different sources, public records, and some public records pull from different sources to other public records. Some of the better public records that are more accurate are clearly pulling from more sources to get that accuracy. So now you've got to pull in all of these national public record sources and say they're also involved in covering up for Chris Albert. I don't think so. He's a nobody. Hey, Matt. Thanks for joining us. We're just having a bitch session over here about gossip. We're just gossiping about gossip, essentially. So yeah, I don't think we're going to get, multiple sources that all have nothing to do with each other to cover up for Chris Albert. Don't see it happening. In what world and for what reason? I failed to show the timeline. What has the timeline got to do with sharing addresses? Chris M. Albert lived at 15 Franklin Street, but did not own the home. No, it's actually an apartment. And I can tell you the apartment number. I was just deliberately trying to be vague because I don't want to dox people while I'm trying to disprove it. Christopher Albert, without the M, lived at 15 Franklin Street. Christopher M. Albert, our D&E guy, never lived at Franklin Street, ever. It's not on his records. None of it is. And it's an apartment. It's not a home. And Robert and Douglas Albert. Oh shit! Now I got to get those records up again. Hang on. Robert and Douglas Albert. Did I delete them? Oh shit! I think I deleted it all because I finished making that video. Bugger. Let me see. Otherwise, I have to go through my history and find it again. Oh no, here we go. No, I'll pull it out in my history actually. I just need to have a squiz at Spokio. I'll do it in history. It was through Spokio. I just grabbed, the first free public record database that wasn't blocking me. When I was doing it, there was a few of them blocked me. Spokio. Chris M. Albert Sr. and Chris. Hang on. Let's go again for Chris Albert, Boston MA. All right. All right. Family members of Christopher Albert. Share this tab. You can see that, right? Family members of the 63-year-old Lemon Star, Christopher Albert, with no middle name, are Robert, Vivian, Douglas, Robert, and if you want to pay, I think it's $1, you can have the full historical breakdown of those family members, people that they've lived with, and other information. When we look at our Christopher M. Albert Sr., age 53, from Canton, Massachusetts, we see some familiar names. Shock horror. Julie Albert, like duh. Children's Albert, so he obviously has children. Bernard Albert, Marianne Albert. None of those names seem to be listed over there on the 63-year-old. If you're looking at people who are related, sometimes you will see those correlations in relationships. And you might need to see it. You might need to search more than one public records database. The reason I didn't need to do this is because I got all my confirmation through the federal records, which is what this other person's claiming, that she found all this through the federal records, and I'm saying bullshit because I read the same federal records. So BS. Chris Albert, our dude Chris Albert, is lived at Maple Street, Briar Road. Interesting to note the dates here. Fairview Road. He lived at Fairview Road while he was in prison. I don't think so, Tim. Different dude. Okay, 2010, because I'm pretty sure the other Chris Albert got out in 2011, but I'll show you that record too in a minute. 1999 to 2023, Washington Street. So he's been a part owner of Fairview, I guess, and lived in that home. Also, another place in Washington Street, but notably, they're all Canton, Massachusetts. Now, if you want to go pay some money and view all of the addresses associated, and you can do it across multiple public records database, that's how you get more and more information and more accurate, feel free. But I didn't need to do that because the federal records show me that very specifically, this is the Chris Albert that they arrested. This is the Chris Albert whose records match in the federal databases. So, it can't be any simpler than that. Why am I not surprised the tarot card reader got it wrong? I know, and that was a tarot exactly the TikToker who was getting sued over the Idaho murder. She's still getting sued. She went pro se too. So, did I check their star charts and phrenology? I don't know. I checked the Fed star charts, and they told me that the Bureau of Prisons has got it right. They know who they federally prosecuted and indicted and put in jail. Okay. Um. So. Um. I'm just looking at what else I can say about this because, like, I don't want to argue with the person, but let's go back to it. Post prison, he resided in Canton. No, ma'am. Post prison, Christopher Albert with no middle name still lives in Leominster. Always did live in Leominster. Never moved to Canton. Christopher M. Albert never lived in Leominster. So, I don't know where you're pulling this bullshit from. It might be your tarot cards, perhaps. What this video actually proves is a middle name was missing from a few free databases. No, ma'am. The middle name doesn't exist in the federal documents. Doesn't exist. Non-existent. Is there another way to say he doesn't have a middle name? Someone used surface level tools and made big assumptions. Ma'am, I used the National Bureau, Federal Bureau of Prisons and the National Sex Offender Registry. What are you talking about? And if this took you years of research, to confirm your own fucking bias, then yeah, you're not cut out for OSINT because it took me fucking 5 minutes. I think you should give up OSINT. Stick to the tarot cards, okay? Because if that took you years to avoid the federal databases, it's about bias. You looked for Christopher M. Your entire narrative is based on Christopher M. and this database. That's called confirmation bias. I looked for that date of birth, arrest site, case number, sentence, release address, non-family ties, and federal jurisdiction. Well, that's weird because I looked at all of those things too and I came up with a different one. So how do you suppose that happened? Perhaps I had an open mind and was willing to just follow the thread. Stop making sense using logic. We're supposed to be blindly following. Precisely. This is wild. People are still running with it, right, Alan? I don't know why, but look, I think that when it comes to gossip, and especially nasty gossip, people run with it. They like the nasty gossip. That's why you have people going out there and saying Karen Reid must have done this because insert nasty gossip, Sullivan sluts here, because that sounds good. That's what makes their day. And here's the thing, if that's what makes your day and it's not truth, if that's the thing that you like outside of getting to the bottom of something and finding the truth, then you're not my kind of person. And if I see your comments like that, I'm probably going to block you. Fair warning. You're not my kind of person, and I like to surround myself with people who are like-minded, who actually care about the truth. So here comes a rain shower, being the very reason I grabbed hold of the Shure microphone today, so you didn't have to listen to the tinkle tinkle on my roof. You'll probably still hear it a little bit, but hopefully this microphone sorts that out and cancels out some of the background noise of my tin roof. But could you... I'm going to start fucking throwing shoes eventually. Like, seriously. I conceded. Okay, let me finish that before we move on to the shoe. Let's not move on to the shoe yet. I would like to be accursed of being a sex offender when I wasn't. Oh, you wouldn't like that, right? Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter that it's Chris Albert. I don't give a shit about his feelings, right? I'd be quite happy to kick his kick his feelings to the gut up. And you're going to give us ASMR, Aussie. I'd be happy to kick Chris Albert's feelings to the gutter and stomp all over them and call him every name under the sun, even if it's not true. But the fact is, I don't care about his feelings. I'm not doing this because of Chris Albert's feelings. I'm doing this because it's the truth. I'm a truth seeker. If you're going to court, you want to know the truth. You're supposed to be looking for the truth. You're not supposed to be looking for confirmation biases. That is precisely how Karen Reid got arrested and indicted, right? Because of confirmation bias. So why would I apply confirmation bias to the very case I'm complaining about confirmation bias with? Thank you and affable. I really appreciate your videos. They're the most helpful for me and I love your delivery. Thank you. I'm not sure everyone loves my delivery, but thank you. All right, I can't say that. Pomathoin, pomathu. I don't know how to say that, Tracy. Is it French? I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. I only speak it English. I only speak one type of English, fucking Australian. Sorry. It's my first language, Australian. I'm out of where bringing up the shoe. I'm not calling Nike either. Yeah, look, I'll pay that one. I'll pay that one, Bob. There's no socks. We haven't seen any socks. I'll pay that one. And I'm on the same page as everyone with that too, because I think the socks have got evidence on them. I'm not talking DNA of other people. I'm talking dog evidence, dog hairs, which does come down to DNA, but like I said, dog evidence. Oh, that's terrible, Chip. No, I'm sorry that was done to you. I got socks on, fear them. I've got socks on, fear them. Fear my socks. Oh, it's Gaelic. Gotcha. No idea how to pronounce it because I don't speak Gaelic either. I can speak garlic. That's garlic. Garlic breath, get it? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta stop. I gotta stop with this bloody dry Australian sense of humour, don't I? Stop it, Ozzy. Ask Kevin to say it. I didn't actually get. Did I send you a link, Kev? I don't think I did because you told me you weren't going to be here today. Let's get Kevy up to say it specifically to speak Gaelic. Hang on. I'll send you that link. Whoops. It's in the Discord, Kevin. Come up and do and teach me Gaelic. And then you can rack off and go do what you gotta do. Kevin's got appointment with his brother today. Oh, your cat's cold socks. Gotcha. Hang on, I missed it. Your cat's cold socks, cold fish. All right, here's Kevy. He's gonna teach me Gaelic. Whoop, whoop. Hang on. Hey, Kevy.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. Good. So how do we say that Gaelic phrase? It's all gone way back.
It's Pogue Mahone.
Say again. Pogue Mahone.
Pogue. Did you ever hear the Irish band The Pogues? Shane MacGowan.
Nope.
Fairy Tale of New York.
Nope.
Famous Christmas song. No.
Nope.
Come on.
Come on, it can't be that famous if I haven't heard of it.
It's huge. It's one of the biggest Christmas songs of all time.
Nope.
You
Sorry.
have to have heard of it.
Look, you
Come
have
on,
to
chat.
remember, I spent the first half of my life, Jehovah's Witness, never celebrated Christmas. So the fact that I haven't heard of it doesn't mean much.
You must be living in a cave if you've never heard that song.
Do you not know what Jehovah's Witness is?
I do. Yeah,
Literally
yeah.
living in a cave.
Hold on a second. Let's see what chat's saying. It's Pogue Mahone. It basically means kiss my arse. Are you there? You muted? Tina? No?
Did I mute? Did I?
Yeah, I think you did.
I touched the wrong part of the microphone. Shoot. Right. Don't touch that spot on the microphone, Ozzy. It's got a touch thing on it. I don't like that. I'd rather have a
Yeah.
button.
See, Lon Solo knows who the Pogues are. So does
Lon's
Tracy, I think.
Pogues are the shit. How come I haven't heard of this shit?
Oh, I'll send you some of their songs when we're done or tomorrow, whatever. You're really going to like them.
Be careful, Ozzy. You might make people too happy. It's dangerous. Dangerous territory. All right, so Pogue Mahone, and it means, what is it? Kiss my ass.
Kiss my arse, yeah, or kiss my
Okay.
ass, whichever.
Right. There you go. Gaelic. Never knew any Gaelic before, but now I do, and I'll forget it. You ask me tomorrow, and I bet you I'll forget it.
Yeah, it's one of the most common ones. It's one that tourists love to learn. Yeah, it is used a lot though.
Right. There you go. Teach me more Gaelic.
No.
How do I say? How do I say to this woman that she's like, she needs to go to D ward? No. They need an extra. They need an extra. They need an extra length on the spectrum to include her.
Jesus, I don't know. I could barely say that in English, never mind Irish.
It was, I don't know. It's just pretty. It's. My jaw is on the floor. Let's say that. If you are so caught up in your own confirmation bias that you're not willing to look and see something else, just look. You don't have to agree with it. Just take the time to look and be prepared to have an open mind. If you can't do that, then all you are subscribing to is confirming your own bias, right? Tackety tack tack tack.
Sorry, I'm responding to Lance. It's probably quicker just to say it out loud.
You just say that.
Well, I don't want to be diverting the conversation away off on a tangent, but he's mentioned a great song there, a famous song called "Dirty Old Town."
Right.
It was actually written by a fella called Ewan McCall, who was the father of Kirsty McCall, who duetted on the Fairy Tale of New York song, and it's about Manchester.
Right.
It's not actually an Irish song, but the Pogues made it famous.
Michelle's got a message for you.
Oh, oh. Yeah, that used to be the joke. What do you call an Irish queer? Gaelic.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot of things that are over my head here.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to sidetrack the conversation.
You guys are too grown up for me.
Yeah. Boda
Okay,
Bob.
Miss
See
K,
you.
thank you. All right, so
Is that
essentially,
all you wanted to know?
yeah, on the shoe thing, like, how's that shoe thing? How's the shoe thing?
Ah, there's a whole new shoe thing now. Did you not see that?
No, what's the new shoe thing?
I posted. I sent it to you in Discord earlier on.
I
From
was
hazard a guess who?
I was just playing along, like honestly. But go on, tell us what is
Oh,
the new
okay.
shoe
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, 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 yeah. Well, to be fair, there's a bit more to it, and I'm sure everybody's probably seen it because it's exploded on X since today. It started. The first one I saw was Will saying that the shoes uh, Higgins was wearing coming in are not the same into the police station in Canton in that footage are not the same shoes he was walking out in. Now he was kind of half onto something, but then somebody else popped up and said that it wasn't Brian Higgins in the police station, it was Brian Albert. And there's kind of looks like there might be something to that. But
So
one of the
Brian Albert changed into Brian Higgins' clothes.
no, they're wearing similar clothes. But if you look at the shoes that Brian Higgins allegedly is wearing, leaving or coming into the police station in Canton, they're very different to the shoes he was wearing in the waterfall. There's a clear shot of the shoes that he was wearing in.
Do I need to open X for this shit?
I didn't save the links. I didn't want to start you down another rabbit hole and send
Well,
you off
let's
into
do it.
another.
Let's do a fucking rabbit hole.
Where
Do
am I
it.
here now?
Do it.
Uh,
Everybody, hang off the do it icon, emoticon, whatever you call it, emoji.
Chip the tail out or AJ is saying Claire was swearing on court TV.
He was on court TV
He
swearing.
must have been. He must have been, according to AJ.
I didn't see him on court TV, but that's interesting. But I did see where he had court TV up and he was swearing at them on his channel. That might be what that post means. All right, so I have found it. So
Well, did you get the link about the shoe first?
I
It
do.
started there.
Let me
And
share
then,
the screen. All right. So hear me out. You can see this. Nope. Hang on. You can see this. Hear me out. This is not Brian Higgins. It's Brian Albert. I don't see Brian Albert's face.
no, go down now. Look at the shoes he's wearing there. Right?
Yep. I see the shoes there. They got a
Right. Now
white thing and a
scroll.
black sole, right?
Yeah. Scroll down now to the not the next images down, the next one below that. It's video. It's
Well,
actually video footage. See it
let's
there?
just look. Let's just look here first. See that skull with the eyes, and
Yeah.
see that skull with the thing around it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what he's wearing under that because he's wearing a big puffy jacket. But that's Brian, and that's Higgy, right?
Yeah.
And that's Brian. Is that a Harley on the back? Harley logo on the back.
It is a Harley logo.
So he's got a skull on the front and a Harley logo on the back. So that's Higgy, right?
Yep.
Can we pause it briefly, Mr. Wolf?
He's wearing white shoes. Huh.
Yeah, and they're more like loafers than trainers.
True, true.
Can we pause it briefly, Mr. Wolf? Yes.
Isn't that interesting? He changed his shoes. There's definitely some fuckery going on here. All right, so you want me to
And
go
if
the
you look
next
at
one?
them, they're black soled.
Now he's wearing black shoes. Now we go to Chris's shoes. He's wearing, I don't know if they're black, but now look at Higgy's shoe. Now it looks like it's got a black top with a white side. See, I feel like they overexposed this footage and changed shit by overexposing it. That's what I feel like. See, that's not a white sneaker anymore. Now that's grey on top with a white toe and heel. Do you get what I'm saying? Oh my god!
Yeah.
I was going to say, did I mute myself again? All right. What was the next post you wanted me to look at? Is that all of it? That's all of it, right?
That's pretty much all of it, and the theory that's going
Right.
into it.
So Chris has got white stripes on the side of his shoes. See that? That's 3 white stripes, pretty sure of it. But we can go to the older footage and get a better picture because this is all washed out.
There is a side by side there somewhere of the one in the waterfall and the one in that he's wearing there now with his back. The images on the back look very different, and that's quite possible with Harley Davidson stuff.
Yeah. But you can also make your own designs. So, it doesn't necessarily have to be a brand name, right? It can be, I chose the front design and I got it put on my Harley Davidson sweater.
Well, somebody posted up the actual one from the website, from the Harley Davidson website, that appears to be the one that Brian Higgins is wearing. But when you look at the image he didn't show the image of the back of it. But when you see the back of the one Higgins is wearing in the waterfall, and then the back of the one whoever is in the Canton PD, they don't look the same. Again, it could be camera trickery, or not trickery, but just a trick of the eye with the camera, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
But they do look very different, the logos on the back.
What if they used face swap?
Yeah, well, the other thing is too, would anybody in Canton PD at that hour of the morning paid any heed to somebody coming in with a hoodie? Then the other question is, why is the hood up?
From the back door.
Yeah, why is the hood up? And he does resemble Higgins in stature. It's a juicy conspiracy, one way or the other. Whether there's anything to it or not now is another thing.
You have a feeling, hang on, Compote's sending me some pictures. What's that? It's a black top, white side. Oh my god. Can we please not start another fucking rumor? I'm following Jackson's lead because he has his eyes.
Moving swiftly along.
Moving swiftly along. I am following Jackson's lead. He's got his eyes on this evidence. Like, he's seeing it, not how we're seeing it. We're seeing it filmed from a pull camera filming a computer screen streamed out to the internet, and that's like 5th generation messiness involved there.
Chinese whispers, yeah.
It's like Chinese whispers, exactly. But I'm going with Jackson. Jackson asked, I was going to say Higgins. I've got all my names mixed up in my head. Jackson asked Bukaki if that was Brian Higgins, and he said yes. I am highly suspicious when Bukaki agrees so agreeingly with something. That makes me think maybe it's not Brian Higgins. But that's just a suspicion, like that doesn't come down to any fact or anything. And just because you can trick your brain into seeing Albert instead of Higgins doesn't really mean anything either. But I'm going with Jackson here. Let's ride Jackson's like little wave and see where he goes with it.
Yeah.
Because if it's not Higgins and they worked out that it's actually Brian Albert and it somehow they switched jumpers and shit, how the fuck are you going to explain that to the jury? Now you're starting to get into conspiracy land, right?
Well, unless they had solid evidence of it. You
They
see,
switched jumpers and then they switched shoes and then they left Brian Albert's shoe, or is it Brian Higgins' shoe? Because we don't know which Albert or which is Albert, which is Higgins. We don't know which Brian, but one of their shoes outside and photographed it just before they removed
no,
that shoe and put
forget
another
about
shoe
that.
there
That
with the
you've
same type of
explained.
snow on it with a white sole. How do you tell the fucking jury that shit?
You've explained. Look, you've explained away the shoes in the snow, right? That's fine.
Right,
Some people are not going to get that. You're better off leaving them alone.
right.
But on this one, it could explain why Brian Albert didn't come out of the house that morning. He might have been afraid that some of the Canton PD that were on the scene might have recognised him and gone, "Hold on a minute, you were in the station earlier."
Yeah.
And you see how these conspiracies grow legs?
Right. You just started another one. You're fired.
That's the whole idea.
You're not getting a paycheck this month. Serious.
Oh, okay, I'll add it to the others I didn't get.
um, I actually did tell Will I've just been fucking with him, like with his posts and stuff. But he is actually
Well,
taking it serious, and I
w-
am fucking with him. I am actually just fucking with him because I figure he's the one person who has the sense of humor. He can take it.
yeah, well, it was Will that actually posted the thing about the shoes. That's when I said, guess who it was. He posted that first, and then your one, what do you call her? Madam Secretary posted
Right.
the conspiracy about it being Albert, not Higgins, in the PD.
Oh my god. Like, this is not shit you can tell the jury. But this is what
No,
I try to narrow it down to. How would I explain this to a jury without coming across like a fucking nutcase macadamia fucking tarot card reader?
yeah, well, you're better off letting the jury come to the conclusion themselves rather than trying to spell it out for them.
Right.
And I think AJ's doing a much better job this time around of doing that than he did the last time. He spent too much time hammering on this conspiracy to make sure the jury got it. Whereas all the evidence is pointing to a conspiracy without him actually mentioning the word conspiracy.
Oh my god, everyone's sending me photos now. Okay, I gotta share lines. That's pretty funny. Uh, I fucked it
No,
up.
oh, clown shoes, is it?
Hang on. God damn it. Why am I all fucking stupid with this? This one here. Share screen. There you look. That's what Higgins is wearing. I can see that. Like
Clown shoes,
seriously,
knew it. I fucking
that's
knew it.
what my eyes are seeing, guys. You heard it here first.
Oh, Jesus.
Can we just focus on the fact that he wasn't hit by a car? Like seriously? My point exactly, Tracy.
Yeah, stick to the facts of the case and things that they can prove easily, and the jury are not going to struggle to digest.
Right. So I certainly don't need validation. I'm quite happy to be wrong. I don't need validation. I don't need someone in court to say, you were right. Look, dun dun dun. I don't need that. What I need is for the jury to go, no car accident happened here. That's all I need. When we hear that from the jury, no car accident happened here, I am going to be completely validated. Everything validated. Everything, even shit I was wrong about.
Yeah, well, the shit that you were wrong about doesn't matter at that stage. It's
And we
once
talk
the
about,
result is in, and it's the result you want.
oh my god, the first thing I thought, Blue Jay, is what is he hiding in that parking lot? What was he taking from the Jeep and putting in the other car?
Yeah. Was he getting something from the Jeep? Was he getting something out of the pickup? It's bizarre. The behaviour is bizarre. But the biggest and most noticeable thing is how it was abundantly clear that he lied in his last testimony at the trial.
Right.
The timing, the time frame that he was at the station was all wrong. He never moved a vehicle.
And they don't
So,
put Higgy on the stand so they can't impeach him with the actual Brady material.
yeah, well, I'm not sure if AJ's actually finished with mechanic. He may be back. I missed the last 15 or 20 minutes of that. I got distracted at a visitor.
Yeah. So I agree with the couch fairy here. This trial needs to be simpler than the last. Let's not overcomplex shit, right?
Oh, I think
No,
it is. I think I think AJ's making it much more simple.
Tracy, did he move a car? I didn't see him move a car. Did he?
No,
He went off the screen, but that doesn't mean he moved a car. He went off the screen and it was suggested he maybe did, but we didn't see that car move. I didn't see any car move.
no.
This was
And it was plural. He said he went back to move cars around
right.
out
Here's the thing.
of the way of the plough.
Bukaki also sat there and said, "Look, Karen's drinking alcohol," when she actually wasn't. So it's the same thing. Just because someone said it doesn't mean that's what you're actually fucking looking at.
Yeah, that's it. Annie Burkhardt put it best. She says the cops roll in there to tell you a story. They don't care about the facts. They don't care about the evidence. They say it's this way, and expect people that are going to believe it. They
Right,
don't. They don't understand people are intelligent now. They've access to a lot of things they've never had before, and they can check a lot of these facts. And
right.
plus, video is the best evidence you're ever going to get.
Yay, we're night fishing with a full moon. With Dave's channel, apparently. What are we catching, Dave? Bass. Whoa. We're bass fishing on a full moon. Be careful. Be careful, dude. You know
So,
what?
so long as he doesn't mean he's fishing for chicks with his arse out the window of the car.
The point I'm
Figure that one out.
making. The point I'm making, Chip, is we don't actually see him get in a car, start it, and move the car. We see symptoms he may have, but we don't actually see him do it because he's off screen.
Yeah, he's. Yeah, I don't think. I think he's going to have a hard time explaining that if he is questioned on it.
Right. So, addicted to bass. Isn't there a song, totally addicted to bass?
Yeah.
And
Well, it was the name of a band too, wasn't it? A Swedish band or something, Scandinavian band.
I don't know.
Oh no, that was it. No, that was Ace of Base. That's what that was.
It was too.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. So one thing we did clear up, I published a video last year, I think it was, after the trial. You know, all the things that the media's not saying. I was wondering if that whole Jeep lying scenario where it was blah blah blah, if that was because they were trying to cover up someone else driving Jen's Jeep that night. We cleared that up because he's definitely driving a Jeep Wrangler with a plow on the front. So I don't think he was I don't think Ali was driving Jen's Jeep that night. So yay, there's a mystery solved, right?
Yeah, but again, it just shows you how the rumors can get going and the conspiracies guessing.
Right. And it also shows to those people who are in my comments saying, I never admit that I'm wrong. I just admitted I'm wrong. Dun dun dun. I don't know how to show you. And I don't think it's a big deal either. He lied about what he did under oath, period. It's exactly right. He lied. So,
Correct. Yeah. And he also lied about the phone call. He claims he never made a phone call, where you can clearly see in the footage
Strong
that he
leg.
did make.
Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Why is he moving cars? He's not CPD, he's ATF. I believe he said on the stand there were ATF vehicles in the lot that he wanted to move. It
That's
was
correct.
his
Yeah.
responsibility to move them. So what we find out is that both of those vehicles that are in the foreground that we can actually see on the screen are actually his. So one's his own Jeep and the other one is his, ATF issued whatever mobile, right?
Yeah. He
So
claims to have gone back to move them because they were going to plough the car park, and he needed to move them out of the way of the plough.
Joey Kane, friend of the channel. Welcome back, buddy.
Hey, Joey.
Strongleg keeps his work vehicle there. He keeps his work vehicle there and claims he had to move it so the lot could get ploughed. I think you mean Michelle, but yes. He really did move a car, I swear. Why are we arguing about it? He lied. That was the point. He lied. He wasn't there to move all the cars for the ploughing, right? We don't need to start another fucking fight. I don't want to fight with people, right? How many times have I typed that into the fucking comments in the last couple of days? I don't want to fight with you. If that's what you saw, great. That's what you saw, but it's totally beside the point. Let's not fight. We're all on the same team. The point is, what's the point again? Fuck, I keep forgetting the point. Oh, that's right. No collision, no collision, no collision. Isn't that the point?
Yep.
So, yeah, if you want to see whatever it is you want to see, that's fine. What I am finding though is I am outraged. To get back to the topic of the stream, I am fucking outraged at all this shit that's going on. Like seriously. Hang on. Let me put my outrage up on the screen. Let's go to outrage.
Trigger warning, people.
Trigger warning, right? Fight me. Fight. No, I'm just joking. I don't want to fight with people, but hang on. Let me get some shit up on the screen here. What the fuck is this shit? Hang on. Share screen. Share screen. What the fuck is this shit? Stop the fucking press. I actually do have evidence markers. Holy shit. This is the crime scene, or sorry, the investigation scene for Justin Root. These markers are showing you all the hundreds of bullets they found. Each of these evidence markers is showing you where they found a bullet, essentially. Where they murdered an unarmed man who was having a mental episode. So they actually do have evidence markers. And when AJ was cussing Bukaki on this, I was like, show him an evidence marker. Show him what an evidence marker is. Please pull the evidence marker out and ask him, do you know what this is? I don't know if he could do that. It's not evidence as such. It's just a demonstrative, right? Do you know what this is, sir? Don't tell me you don't know what this is, right?
Yeah, there's all different types of them. There's little U-bend things that they use. There's little flags that they use.
Right. There's a whole
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of different types.
Well,
And
apparently they don't have what they call crime scene bags in the cars. Apparently they do now as a result of this wonderful audit that
oh,
the Canton
bullshit.
Select Board initiated.
Bullshit. Nobody believes their auditors. Even the auditors don't believe the fucking auditors.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I know, but it was more to do with the fact of the evidence markers.
Right. Let's go to this post. This is what they showed in court. I'm sure I already vented about this, and this is, my original, like, the original video that they are playing in court without it being streamed and filmed by a pool camera and streamed out to YouTube. This is the original video. What is up with these freaking Hulk green seats? Like, there's some freaking shit going on in this particular case, like that they're changing shit up from the last case. And it wasn't just, that observation. I also found, Colleen's own submissions to the court. It's one of these in the passenger seat, all right? That's why it's Hulk green. She's got a giant rubber ducky in the passenger seat.
No, that's Karen turning into She-Hulk in the car.
That's Karen going bursting out of her clothes and filling up the seats.
Yeah.
It's freaking nuts.
I'm surprised that hasn't been the what do you call it? The narrative of the antis.
Right. Hey, Commonwealth lies so big you could drive an SUV through them. Shall we watch it? This is a Microdots production, guys. I always love Microdots productions. Are we looking all at the same thing? We are. Cool. Let me just check the a free dingo chat. Did I miss something?
Yeah.
Next.
Could everyone in chat show Michelle a little love? She's not feeling very well today.
I heard you have the flu, Miss Michelle. Which sucks. Our hearts all go out to you.
Yeah, it could be worse. It could be man flu.
That's correct. It does help to mask the manipulations. He's spot on. All right, let's see what Microdots has to say. Let me check our volume here. Oop, full blast.
Can we take a look at the timestamp on this document, or on this frame?
This is the footage taken from the Saliport. It is the view that would directly show the taillight, its current state, and anything that happened to it after arriving from Karen's parents' home in Dighton.
I'd ask you to let the jurors know if you can see what the actual run time is on this.
I could see the timestamp. I don't know the run time, what it's going to be.
It's 5:07, 10 or 12, something like that?
That's the timestamp, yes.
Okay.
Yes, PM.
Now, if we could just play this forward, go back to full screen.
At 5:07, notice the bay is empty. And the quality of the video is extremely poor. A few seconds go by. We see a full screen of black static. And just like magic, the SUV appears.
Pause. Now, how many seconds would you estimate, just in your head, just went by in real time?
Approximately 5 seconds.
Okay. Do you see something in the video now?
Yes.
What is that?
It appears to be the seized Lexus SUV.
Can we just pay homage to AJ blowing up the timestamp so we can actually see them this time? Well done, AJ.
And now let's look at the timestamp. What time is that?
5:47 PM.
So in about, according to your testimony, in about 5 seconds, the time jumped from before the SUV was in the Saliport to about 5:50 p.m. after the SUV had already arrived and is now situated in the Saliport, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
We have a serious problem here. The Norfolk District Attorney expects the public to actually believe that this camera just happened to glitch for a whole 43 minutes, during the exact window when they're accused of smashing Karen Reed's taillight. That's not a coincidence. That's a cover story, and a very, very poor one.
You're a fucking liar and a fucking snake.
Well done, Microdots. Flaky cameras. Is the jury going to buy it? Thank you, Microdots. Freaking legend, right? So, is the jury going to buy it? That is the question. What do you reckon, Kev?
It just has to be reasonable doubt. The question is, could it have happened? And that's what Jackson's been doing these last couple of days. He's been pointing everything towards Proctor to show that Proctor's hands is on everything.
Right.
He's
Well,
at the back of the car. He's there in the footage that doesn't seem to be right. All the interviews, all the reports.
thank you for catching alive, Cynthia, at 3 o'clock in the morning. Well done. You're a champion. You're now officially an Aussie. Being awake for the live streams. Higgy changed shoes. Did Higgy change shoes at Canton PD?
That's the one I was talking about. We'll put up first.
Did he change shoes? Because he's walking forwards, we can't see if he's got black soles.
It looks to me like it's the same shoes he came in with, but then that feeds into the, could it be Brian Albert? Could they have swapped hoodies?
Yeah, I don't think we need any more conspiracy theories, but not a lot of
Oh,
media.
it's grown legs. It's grown legs on X. And it took off like a rocket. The amount of attention it was getting. So you're going to hear a lot more about it.
Someone's doing facial recognition on the BA image. Hang on, which one is it? It's not fucking BA. BH. Oh my god, I'm getting confused. This is not an easy job, people. When everyone's named fucking Brian. All right. Looks like Higgins got a real fat neck in just a matter of minutes. Except he's wearing a hoodie around his neck. How can you see his neck? Doesn't work for me if he's got a hoodie on, all right? I've got a fat neck when I have a hoodie. I actually have a very skinny neck, being Indian and all, in my background. I have a very long, slender, skinny neck, but I'm sure it's fat when I'm wearing a hoodie.
The way he's walking away in there is very much the gait of Higgins.
Yes, that's a good point. Matching the gait, actually. Where did it go? Yes, matching the gait. See the kicking out of the sides? Watch his legs kick out the sides. This is something Andrea pointed out.
Andrea Burkhardt actually called it. There's a term for that.
She did, didn't she?
That. It's something to do with it's something to do with your hips.
Mhm.
I used to see it a lot in Dublin with meatheads that spent a lot of time in the gym. They used to walk like that.
Yep. What I did notice is Brian Higgins is noticeably fatter than Brian Albert. Brian Albert is around the same height, I think, from the bar footage, but he's wearing a big jacket, a big puffy jacket in that bar footage. So it's difficult to see his actual size.
They did point out in that piece about how sitting in the waterfall, it looks like Higgins is filling out sweatshirt or hoodie, whereas in this footage it's loose fitting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but look, I think it's
That's filled out. That's not loose. That's filled out.
no. If you go back, he's actually bulging out of it in the waterfall, but I think it's more to do with the way he's sitting than anything else.
All right. Anybody have any thoughts on what Higgins gets out of his truck? I think it's a duffel bag. Duffel bag of what? This is This is actually an interesting. Trust Sleepy to do it too. Sleepy's pretty good with this shit. This is an interesting aspect because do you remember back in the day, last trial, Aidan Carney was actually talking about a duffel bag, right? Or someone was. Who was talking about it?
I don't remember that.
Chat, who brought up the duffel bag? The feds found a duffel bag, or an investigator, maybe the defense team found the duffel bag? What's the story with the duffel bag? What is the story with the duffel bag? I know there is a story with the duffel bag.
There was something about a duffel bag now that you say it.
I definitely saw that. It looked like a stick.
Corn Pope saying Sean on the Gulf. The feds found it.
The feds found it. Thank you, Corn Pope.
Yeah.
And who was talking about Sean on the Gulf, right?
Corn Pope.
That's why you take it with a grain of salt. The source is what counts. Whether it's Tabasco or tomato, it's the source that counts. Cora got a higgy finger. Cora the dog got a higgy finger. Is that what you're talking about? I'm not sure what you mean. Variant. I'm getting to your comment, Variant. Obviously, it was off topic, so I moved past.
No, I don't see one there from her. From them.
Variant.
I wonder is it a YouTube comment actually.
This is your last comment. They're distorting it on purpose so the jury can't see the tail light was fine. We actually did discuss that, Variant. That's your last comment. So if you got something else to say, type it again. I think the same thing about Brian Albert. That's why he didn't come outside. Wasn't Proctor seen leaving 34 with a duffel bag? I don't know. I forget the story.
No, not that one. Just can you repost your question again, Variant?
Yeah, can you repost it because we're not seeing it. It's obviously so when the chat is so many comments in it, the old comments get shoved out the other end and we don't see it anymore. So you'll need to retype it because we've scrolled back and don't see it. So it's obviously gone off the chat. It was a duffel bag. This is what Corn Pope is saying. She remembers Sean on the Gulf saying, Higgins said he travelled to New York in his truck. It's very likely just his stuff from travelling to New York to take home. Now, there's a sensible deduction, Watson. As he walks, his hand goes in his pocket. Hang on. Have we gone past the swagger? Hang on. Let's go back to the swagger and watch the hands. Oh, look. Bam. It's in his pocket. That means his jeans aren't as tight as John's jeans were, right? Why did Brian Albert drive Higgins' Jeep to Canton PD at 1:30 a.m.? Yeah, I'm not following it. It's Brian Albert. I'm going with AJ.
Who asked that?
I don't know. Justice for John O'Keefe, free Karen Reid. There's a billion of those names on X. I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was somebody in the chat that asked us. I said that.
Oh no, not a pickerel. Look out. Dave's channel's getting mugged by a razor sharp tooth pickerel.
That was an old Arlo Guthrie song. I don't want to pickle. I just want to ride my motorcycle. Or was it Woody Guthrie? It was one of the Guthries anyway, I think.
Has Ozzy sent Higgy some diapers already? All right, so bingo cards out. Who thinks Higgy's now going to get on the stand? Type a 1 if you think Higgy's going on the stand because the prosecution has called him, or type a 2 if you think the prosecution is not going to call him.
Ooh, I'm on the fence. Is there a 1.5?
There certainly is. It could be anything you like. You got a whole keyboard at your disposal. So, Hank Brennan called Nicholas Guarino. Oh, hang on. Nicholas Giant Turco. That's actually a corrupt FBI agent who took bribes from Brennan's client, Whitey Bulger. I don't see much of a difference. Did he call him that? Nicholas Genturco. He had something on the brain, right? If that's what he actually said. New picture of lard ass Brian Higgins at CPD about an hour after John O'Keefe was attacked. Who thinks Higgy called his lawyer today? I'm sure he did I'm sure he's on butt dial. Good on you, Alexis. All right, we have 22222. The prosecution will avoid calling him. He did call him that. There you go. I was asleep through that part, so I didn't hear it.
Well, Andrew seems to think that Colin Higgins at this stage is kind of pointless. That AJ did the work with Buchanan, and she reckons that comparing questioning Buchanan on it this time versus Higgins the last time, it was more impactful for the jury this time.
Right.
Because Brian Higgins came across a little bit better last time doing it himself, whereas with Buchanan being clinical and with his attitude made him look worse.
Right. See, what I think AJ's doing is making it impossible for them not to call certain characters. So his whole line of questioning on Higgy, he's got to the point where they've got to bring Higgy up because there's a lot of things that Bukaki couldn't testify to. And then same with Proctor. There's a lot of things that Bukaki couldn't testify to regarding Proctor. So I think AJ's setting it up so that they actually have no choice. And if they don't, they look bad.
Yeah, and well, they're setting it up too that they have no choice but to call them themselves as well. That Bev can't deny them. Do you know what I mean?
Right. And Bev has no choice, but she has to let them on the stand. Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So look at this silly bitch here. Wait, please get a life. Yuri Buchanan identifies the man in the Canton PD hallway as possibly Brian Higgins. We're trying to identify the gorgeous, soft, and stylish hoodie he's wearing. Criminals control Norfolk County. Good on you, Microdots. He's certainly clever with the bloody software, isn't he? Why does it look like Higgins is still...
Well, hold on a second. Go back to that again.
Hang on. That one? You want the Microdots one?
I'm just going to send you, I posted you something earlier on with the same, there's actually a story behind that. Aidan Carney posted it.
Oh.
I can't, a woman, it's actually a bit disturbing. I thought the buffer zone was vacated by the Supreme Court there, wasn't it? Or by the First Circuit?
I'm going to have to turn you up because I got rain coming down on my roof and I can't hear you. And I'm sorry if the audience, if that's too loud. Give us a check.
Check. 1, 2.
Yeah, that's better. I can hear you over the freaking loudness of my roof. Can you hear my roof?
Yeah, I'm going to have to share my screen because it's only a screen grab that I did.
Radio.
But this is a bit disturbing, if true. And it's Aiden, so I have no reason to doubt it. Entire screen allow. Now, where did I have that? Here we go. Can you see that there now?
Yeah, but remember how to zoom in?
It doesn't work on Discord. I've tried it. Hold on, I'll see if I can find it. I'll stop sharing. I'll see if I can find it and come back to you. It shouldn't be too hard on Aiden's thing.
All right.
I'll drop the link in the private message.
The story with that hoodie is Erica Walsh was forced to remove the same hoodie, and under she had a TB shirt. She was forced to take it off in her car, down to her bra, by police. Holy crap!
That's the one I was looking for. That's the story.
Oh.
I have it here if you want it, if you need it.
So the cops made her strip down to her bra. Holy crap.
There's the post there.
Sorry, clicking in your ears. Me making I'm busy looking and clicking noises. Thank you, Kerry. Let's go to this screen share. Aiden's post, which is basically what Cornpope just told us. Last week, FKR supporter Erica Walsh was forced to remove this hoodie. Criminals control Norfolk County by microdots. Saying criminals control Norfolk County in the buffer zone, even though it makes no mention of the Karen Reid case. Hang on. In the buffer zone, not outside the buffer zone. Cool. Hang on. Yeah, I follow now. So once they entered into the buffer zone. Underneath, she had a Turtle Boy shirt on, which was also not allowed. State police forced her to a car in a bra.
It says walk
to a car in a bra. She had to walk to a car in a bra.
Yeah.
Today they threatened to arrest her again, and it was caught on video by Court TV, who says they are airing the footage tonight.
Do you want me to see if I can find that?
Yes, that was today. Tonight, tomorrow.
Oh, look at that first one popped up. Right.
Okay, here's variance question. If a phone is in a Faraday bag, it would still count the steps with Apple data, but they don't upload until there's a signal. This could be why the phone registered several hundred steps suddenly at 6:04. Jen could have had it all night and took it out right when they found Jo. You know the times better than me, so help with that. The steps are recorded on the phone, not on the iCloud. It would still count the steps with Apple Health data. That's recorded on the phone. But then you could have an update with your iCloud account once the phone's back on. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what your question is. But I think you're right. Like, yes, it could have updated the iCloud as soon as the phone's turned back on or back in service. So
we've an interesting poll there on Court TV about your mechanic.
By the way, Lon Sole says, sorry, the court. You found the Court TV. Cool.
No. It's a poll that the Court TV is running.
Okay. By the way, they can make you leave the zone only, not control what you wear. It's a clear violation of rights either way. It's interesting because the High Court has actually sent this back for revision, haven't they? Because it's too overbroad.
But it said in the judgment that it was vacated. Vacated means that basically it's overturned. It's not been reversed. But vacated means that it no longer stands. That would be my assumption. Maybe Corn Pope might chime in there, or somebody more lawyerly than me.
All right, let me get this up on the screen. Is it the no news? Oh, it's the poll. So
Yeah,
I've
I'm
got
still
to.
trying to find. I can't find that.
How believable is Sergeant Yuri Buchanan testimony in the Karen Reed murder trial? 80%. Look at that. Am I sharing the right screen? No. Damn it. Hang on.
Yeah, it's.
Shit. Where the freaking hell did that go? I got too many tabs open. Share this tab. Close that tab. Close that tab. Close.
No, they may have
Close.
shown it on the actual show, but it's not on their X post. I've gone through all the videos that are there for today.
So 80% of people watching the show believe that he is not believable. Some less than 10%, which is what I keep saying, it's less than 10% that are FKRs believe a little believable. 3 say he's mostly believable. Sorry, 4.3% say he's mostly believable. And 10% very believable. That means they've grown here by 5%. They've increased their viewer base by 5%.
That's what your mama said. Ha!
In day 14, Yuri stood by former lead investigator. What do you think? Is it in here?
Responded to the group. Funny, I'm going through his.
Yeah,
No
I can't
news so
find it.
far. I can 5:30. One would have. No.
So that's all Yuri.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be on the X on any of the X posts.
Right.
I'll see if I can see on YouTube. Sorry, turn off me mic. Click clack.
Oh, I see. I believe the buffer zone is still in place. Everything was found to be constitutional except the particular rule of specific speech, not being allowed to say Judge Bev bad. I don't know. Is that what we came to? I thought the High Court smacked it back down at a lower court to fix it.
The way Kurt explained it, he said that the order was vacated, but not reversed, whatever that means. I assumed vacated means that basically it's been nullified and it is to go back to the lower court for reconsideration. In other words, to have another go at getting it right.
When they need a redo.
They need a redo. That the grounds for doing it were right, but that the terms that they used or applied were overly broad.
Right, which I think includes stripping people down to their fucking bras in public.
Yeah.
Like,
But I thought the vacating the order means that the order no longer exists.
Oh my god.
A reversal, I think a reversal is declaring that basically the court got it wrong.
Well, it's happened now. Like what they've smacked it back down to the lower court, and now someone's been stripped down to their bra and forced to walk around in public naked.
Actually,
or half naked. So it's happened now. The thing that they were worried about has actually fucking happened, right?
What's the difference between vacate?
Like what sort of stupid fucking copper do you have to be to not realize that doing that to a woman is going to cause a fucking drama about the buffer zone orders? Like how fucking dense do you have to be?
Yeah, here we go. Definition of vacating an order. Vacating a court order means the order is nullified or set aside, effectively cancelling it as if it never existed. Reversing a court order occurs when a higher court, example, appellate court, overturns the lower court's decision, finding it incorrect.
So which one did they do?
Vacated.
They
Apparently, it was
vacated.
vacated, which means it's nullified. Therefore, I meant to ask it a few times in chat today and on different streams that I was in, but I never got the opportunity. Why they were still adhering to the buffer zone.
Right. Bev Ayatollah Kanoni is the worst. Interesting. I guess cops don't understand that by making her remove the hoodie, they are proving the slogan. Indeed. There's a certain irony here that they're missing.
Right, there is another little bit here. It says scope. Vacating cancels an order, often procedural, while reversing overturns a decision based on its legal or factual merits. And that's what I was saying. They weren't disagreeing with the merits of what they had done. It was just overly broad. That's why they weren't reversing it.
Right. I knew they didn't reverse it, but I wasn't entirely sure how vacate applied to it. So thank you for Googling that, sir.
Yeah. Oh, that was Grok, the
Oh,
legend that is.
Thank you, Grok. Yeah, Grok's shit, actually. Unless you're on a paid account, I guess. They're all shit unless you're on a paid account.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's vague enough. It's all you wanted was just a simple explanation. That's what we got.
Overbroad and oversimplified.
Yeah. The gist, as we would say here.
Have you all seen these? If you're not on X, you probably haven't been seeing these or TikTok, but I think they're funny as.
Yeah,
you lied to the grand jury, Miss Roberts?
Can you answer that, Miss Roberts?
Yes, I think I did.
You lied.
That is correct.
What is a balloon knot, Mr. Proctor? You've gone through everything but her sock drawer.
There was no nudes, which was disappointing.
Did you want to object, Brennan?
Objection!
Sustained.
Donut was a good touch. Very good. I mean, trying to work out where they're getting these baby things from, and it's actually part of TikTok. It's a feature of TikTok. So now I know where they're coming from. Is this a forward edge? Question, is this a forward edge? Let's have a look. I'll tell you what I think it is. I'm going to analyze it. I'm going to analyze it.
Oh.
Let's go. Let's download it. Let's chuck it over here. Actually, let me just go to a new screen for that because you don't need to see what ChatGPT and I were doing on my laptop yesterday. Okay, is this a forward edge? I'm going to put my mic down. I'm actually holding on to it today. So, is this a forward edge? Did I share this screen?
It looks very like one. I was looking at one there a couple of weeks ago with my sister. They're looking at changing their car. There was a couple of them in the forecourt. So it does look like one.
It does to me too, but we'll see what my paid ChatGPT account says.
Garn Pope saying it's not a forward edge.
This does look similar in shape and proportions to a forward edge, especially the rear slope, taillight cluster area, and overall
You're muted there. Hello. Yeah, that's terrible about pure Prince lover. Husband had the car accident, was struck by 3 other vehicles. His car was totaled and he suffered bruises from the airbags. Thoughts go out to you, Prince. I think Ozzy got kicked off her own stream. She probably shut it down. She was having problems with her laptop. Oh, we're back.
Hello.
Hello. There you go.
All right. Something happened and my microphone disconnected itself. So off you go. Sure. Podcast microphone. Back to
I was just reading out a message from Michelle there about Prince Lover. I don't know if you see it there. It's down the bottom of.
Prince.
Scroll down just below the bottom of your screen.
What? Michelle in Discord?
Yeah. No, in the chat and on YouTube.
I have an update about Princey in chat. All right.
Yeah.
And then over to chat.
If you look in Restream, just scroll down.
Prince Lover update. Her husband had the car accident, was struck by 3 other vehicles. His car was totaled and he suffered bruises from the airbags. Lucky to be alive and recovering. Hell, thank you so much for that. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle.
I did actually I did actually have a message out there, but hasn't replied to me yet. But yeah, I can show you the video. I can show you the photos. Copy the link. I think. Let me see if I can get the photos. I'll show you what happened to the car. Yep, I can. This is Prince's car. Whoop. It was a little big, wasn't it? Oh, whoop. Oop. There you go. That's one. There's a couple of them. Just give me a sec because I fuck around to get the links. So get link. Prince said she just had the transmission replaced. $8,000. They just had the transmission replaced.
Jeez, that looks nasty.
And it's somewhere on the road here. The new transmission.
He's going to be sore for a long time after that.
It's pretty hectic, right?
Ooh. Well, the wonders of modern technology, you can come out of something like that.
He's very lucky to be alive. Like this is probably the most horrific accident you can be in and still live through. It looks like it was a head-on collision. Both cars look like their front ends smacked together. So back to this one. It looks like a head-on collision. That looks pretty flat in the front, and that looks pretty flat in the front. So,
yeah.
Wow, Prince, you were so lucky, man. I can't imagine a worse accident to survive.
Yeah, it was the husband, I think. Yeah, it was the husband.
She's grateful she's not a widow. Oh my God.
Yeah, still, I'd say she's still shaking up.
He got a new car today. Well, there's a bonus. That made that 8K worth spending. Obviously, he had it insured to get his new car already, so.
Where is Prince? Is Prince in the States, is she?
Yes. I forget where, though. So this almost happened the other day. I'm cruising along, minding my own business, heading to town to get groceries, and this dude just like, we're coming off the top of a hill. He's just like in front, coming the opposite direction. Decided to overtake another car right in front of me in my lane. So, mind you, I got a dirty big bull bus, so I kind of know he was going to be better off in that situation, and it wasn't going to be him. But it was scary, and I ended up, hitting the pigs and pulling off to the side to let him through without, him sideswiping the other car he's trying to overtake and hitting my car. So people do some freaking stupid shit. Texas. There you go. That's where Prince lives. Crazy town. Right, back to what we were assessing. Is this a forward edge? The AI says it plausibly could be a forward edge, especially between 2011 and 2014, but I wouldn't hang my hat on it without clear angles or additional frames. No, it's not for evidentiary use. We're just shooting the breeze here. So there you go. AI thinks that yes, we're given the crappy picture we just provided with the blown out light because he's got his headlights on. This does look like a forward edge, and look what color it is. Oh my god. I know it's black and white film, so we can't tell if it's black, but it's definitely a dark colored forward edge, right? Some of the best crash extraction fighters in the world are in Texas. Crash extrication firefighters in the world are in Texas. Woo-woo.
There must be a reason. There must be a reason behind that.
Let me have a squizzy. Need to close some tabs again so I don't get freaking lost. Let me have a squizzy. Oh, yes. Yes, 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 and yes. Abso-freaking-lutely. That is what we're looking at, right? Interesting indeedy. We need to flip back and forth, don't we? Let me go. Oh my god, flicking back and forth is really not easy in here. Let's try share screen. Let's try this. And then let's pull this out. Let's try this. Make it a little bigger. All right. Let's do that. And then let's do replace the screen sharing with the whole window. No, with the entire screen. All right. That's not what I wanted. Hang on. I got to get myself back together here again. Hang on. This here on the left. And this here on the right. Are we good now? Because if I switch back to the thing, I can't see it. But can you see both now?
I can, yeah.
All right. Thank you, Lon Solo, because that's what it looks like to me. So it looks a little bit more accentuated here, and because it's got snow sitting on it, essentially.
Yeah, but see where your mouse was just there now. See the little white bit to the behind the rear wheel.
On the bumper here.
Below that again, the little short piece. Yeah, you can see that sill on the other side, in the same place on the car.
Over there.
Over
It's a
no
different
on the
model.
other image. On the other image. Just down. Yeah, there.
Oh,
Just
that bit
there.
there. Oh, the ledge with the snow on it. Gotcha. That's what it is. The ledge there with the snow on it.
Yeah.
I follow what you mean. So a little blur in this spot, which indicates it could be that bit there.
Hold on a second.
Definitely a ton of snow on there, and look at that whole dinged in part of that design there, which is showing all the way up here.
Yeah, you can even see the curve. There's a bit of snow catch there under the tail light.
And look at this. Even that looks that type of wheel looks standard. They both look like
it's a Ford Edge.
So
it's one of the most common. I think it's one of the most common cars in the States, isn't it?
Mystery solved. We solved a mystery. I don't know if it's a common car in the United States.
I think it is. I think it came out that it's common too amongst the Canton Police Department, and that there must be some. There's probably an ex-cop owns the dealership, or there's probably some relationship with the dealer.
Goldfish, what's a Ford Edge? Lol.
It's a little bit smaller than a Ford Edge. Sorry, that was a terrible joke.
Sometimes what happens is what you would call, a Ford Edge over there, we might actually rebadge it to something different here in Australia. So, and it's still, the Ford Edge basically.
Well, it's a Ford Edge. It's a Ford Edge here in Ireland and the UK.
Yeah. Pretty sure we do have actually Ford Edges here in Australia, but sometimes, it's the same thing, but they just rebadge it with something else.
Yeah. Yeah, that used to be a big thing with the cars here too. European cars going over to the States, they would change the names of them. Toyota used to do it too.
Interesting. So thank you for that picture, Lonsoli. That solves the mystery. Pretty sure it's Ford Edge. And it was a good that you found one on the same angle. Popo by the ex-gov cars. Here in Australia they do, don't they?
Just the last thing you do here. The cops drive the shite out of them.
Right. Does the Ford Edge have about the same amount of snow on it as the rest of the cars? Oh my God, variant. Go look. I'm sorry. That's getting way too over the top. Oz is always different for some reason. Yes, exactly. We just got to be different. It's actually to do with the laws. So if there's certain features and things that sold in America that Australia doesn't allow, they might change those features out specifically to sell that vehicle in Australia and then rebadge it with, some other model. Like this is the variant of the Ford Edge that's got the Australian features on it, for example. So be real cool if we could get the Hiluxes here in the States. See, I think you do get the Hiluxes. I think you've just rebadged it. That's what I think's actually happened. I think you actually do have the Hilux in the States. Let me check that. I'll see if I can find you one.
It's just called a Toyota pickup. After which it was replaced by the Toyota Tacoma.
No, the Toyota Hilux is not sold in the US and hasn't been since the 90s. Here's what happened. The Hilux was sold in the US until 95.
Oh, until the mid-90s, yeah.
When it was
Right.
replaced by the Toyota Tacoma, Toyota created the Tacoma especially for the North American market, which features with features Americans want: the softer ride, the automatic transmission, the larger cab, the more comfortable, less goat herder, more suburban dad. How's a more goat herder? Regulatory differences is what I thought it was. The US the regulatory difference is the US crash and emission standards are stricter than Australia. No, it's the other way around. Australia is stricter than America and different from those in global markets where the Hilux thrive. Chicken tax, a 25% tariff on imported light trucks. Yes, this is real, and yes, it was a response to a chicken trade war in the 60s. Makes it financially unintelligent to import the Hilux from countries like Thailand or South Africa. The overlap with the Tacoma, Toyota doesn't want to undercut their own truck. The Hilux is seen as more rugged and utilitarian, while the Tacoma is designed for American tastes and regulations. So the Hilux is built for the rugged, like outback, Australian outback. The
Oh,
Hilux,
it's some amazing vehicle.
the Hilux has a legendary reputation aboard. It's the cockroach of pickup. It's the cockroach of the pickup
Yeah,
world. Top Gear, oh, like crawls like a cockroach. Gotcha. Top Gear famously tried to kill one and failed.
try to kill one. Yeah, they
Yeah,
put it on top of a. They were demolishing a tower block of apartments. They put it up on top of the apartment block and blew up the building and took the pickup out of the rubble, and it started first go.
right. That
They
thing
took
would
it that.
survive the apocalypse, rebuild
Yeah, it
civilization,
was
and drive
yeah,
into town for a kebab afterwards.
yeah. Typical Americans, and it wasn't good enough for the Americans, huh?
So if you're in after one in the US, you'd have to import it as a grey market vehicle, and it would need to be 25 years old to bypass most federal restrictions. There you go. So my daughter had a Hilux before she got her Land Cruiser, before she bought the 80 series. She had a very late model Hilux, and the 80 series kicked its ass. So when she first bought a block of land, the one end of her land has a creek run through it, and so there's also a table of water underneath her land. But anyway, she drove the Hilux up the back of the property, and it got bogged in. It fell into like the table of water and got bogged, and they actually had to use the Land Cruiser to pull it out. So they might be rugged, and you might not be able to destroy them, but they get bogged a lot easier than the Cruiser, apparently.
Right.
So, we are debunking silly investigations is what we're doing, Variant. We're not trying to create confusion for the jury. We just want to keep it simple. There's too many rumors about what could be what. This could be a black spot, but no, it looks like a white spot. But hang on, wait a minute. That spot looks like it's moving. And then we end up in freaking la la land investigating shit we don't need to investigate because the jury's never going to be looking at it.
Yeah.
We're here to watch a trial and work out what the jury's looking at. That's what we're here to do.
Farron's mum just popped in, got a late notification. Have you discussed if it was one or two people at the CPD? So we're back to Higgins and that.
Oh my god. Rewind, Fern's mum. That's what the
Yeah, we did
rewind button's
discuss it.
for. I'm back. Miss anything good? My baby skunk not doing so good, Sniff. Baby skunk. I'm not sure I'd like to keep a skunk as a pet.
I'd say they're all right so long as you don't piss them off. Literally.
Yes, they had the diesel standard too.
Well, most pickups, most SUVs, 4x4s, pickups, whatever you want to call them, they're all diesel over here. There are petrol ones, but the vast majority are diesel.
Right. So
These,
in the Australian market, we've got a bit of a mix. They will sell petrol and diesel for the pickup trucks, but we don't call them pickup trucks either. We call them
yeah,
a truck or a ute if they're a trailer.
Americans are big into their automatic transmissions too. Again, they exist here, but they're more common now that they're stick shifts
Oh, well, that's a
over
good
here.
reason, Chippy, helping the wildlife. Good on you. Not good that he's not doing so well, but good on you for taking care of the wildlife. When my daughter was about 7, one of my friends, she lived out in the bush, and she had a possum. The mum possum had been run over. She saved the baby, and so she was kind of hand raising the baby. Here in Australia, you need to have an actual proper wildlife license to do this. You can't just do it off the cuff. But anyway, she's a licensed wildlife carer. She's raising this baby. Anyway, she pulled the possum out to show my daughter, and the possum freaked out because it's like 7 people standing around. It's not used to that. It freaked out and climbed up on top of my daughter's head and clawed the shit out of her to get up there, and she freaked the hell out. She's always been afraid of possums since. So, but anyway, that's why I never tried to help the wildlife. Leave it up to the pros with no kids. Correct, JC. It's a ute, son. All right, Kevy has an appointment, so thanks for the chatter and finding information for us. If anybody sees the court TV footage of the police making Erica walk around in her bra, hopefully they blur it and don't embarrass her too much. That would be bloody awesome. They might not show it because of that, actually, so they don't embarrass her. So she might have been like that too half naked that you couldn't show it on TV. So thanks, Kerry. Enjoy your day trip with your brother. We appreciate
Yeah, no bother.
we appreciate you chatting with us, and we'll talk to you
Yeah.
again soon.
All right, take care, everybody. Chat to you soon.
All right, bye. There you go. Possum's so cute. They are really cute. And that was the reason she got the possum out to show my daughter, because she thought it was going to be cute. And then the possum freaked out and clawed her to death. So she was wearing a singlet, so she didn't have any sleeves or anything for the possum to grab onto. So it literally grabbed her skin to climb up on top of her head. And yeah, freaked her the hell out. So maybe TB has it. Well, hopefully whoever does have it, like, blows it out a bit, because we don't need to embarrass the poor girl. It was embarrassing enough that she had to walk through town in her bra, but poor girl. Poor girl, crazy. Crazy shite. All right, what else do we have to dissect here without getting into the weeds and making shit more complex than it needs to be? Let's not get into the weeds. The jury loves Alan Jackson. I hope so. Sorry guys, looking for more gossip. There's actually some really good reactions with new people coming in to watch the trial. There's some pretty neat reactions happening to newbies discovering this trial. So here's one from TikTok.
I don't understand how people are watching this trial and still think Karen Reed is guilty. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. You got frickin' Sergeant Mr. Bukaki, Mr. Buchanan up there trying to dodge every single question that is asked. Frickin' Alan Jackson. Jackson is the break emergency. Break in case of emergency. He's the freaking special forces of lawyers.
It's the special forces.
And Alessi's over there. The sniper just waiting behind his victim. This is the craziest trial I have ever seen in my entire life. How do these people involved think that she still did it? It makes no sense. Every single victim in this case, well, I would consider it a victim because a lot of people's family members with Mr. O'Keefe, who sadly and undeservedly passed away. It's just crazy. Watching it daily, every single day, watching these people get up on the witness stand and freaking dodge and curve every single question that they got. Oh yeah, did you put it in an evidence bag? No, I didn't put it in an evidence bag. I put it in a fucking party cup. Because we're ready to fucking party. This is Canton, baby. All we do is get fucking drunk.
So I don't know if you could hear that. He's actually got his volume right down. I have it beefed up to as loud as I can send it to you. So Paul O'Keefe glaring down Karen again. Better has some good posts. Let's have a look at Bettero's posts. Higgins was adamant that he moved cars in the CPD lot. These videos show him go into and out of vehicles, but he didn't move any. What did he get from a vehicle, and why did he claim that he went there to move cars? See, Bettero's looking with his eyeballs too. And are we really going to see the prosecution call 2 young children and the girls from Aruba, but no Proctor, Tully, or first cops on scene? Anyone with the last name Albert Higgins McCabe, and the only witness who claimed to have seen anything, albeit a blob. I get the tactical consideration, but the DA is really putting his credibility with the jurors on the line. So, let's have a look what else he says. The credible reports from the Baghdad Bureau. Yuri's been on the stand since Thursday, and the jury finds him very credible as a trusted member of the state police with a job to do. Well done. The Baghdad Bureau. Remember, the supposed Higgins video was deemed not material, even though it shows him on the phone in an undisclosed call. Less than an hour later, he and Brian Albert had the infamous butt doll conversation, and he and Brian both dumped their phones immediately before a preservation letter was sent to him, and he testified that he went to CPD to move vehicles around. The video doesn't show this. This is beyond absurd. The supervisor of the lead investigator and his partner learned on May the 12th, 2025, about Proctor texts with his sister and wife about the Albert and gifts. Nobody believes that, yet Brennan will endorse it. Of course, nobody believes that. Higgins was adamant that he moved cars. These videos do not show him doing that. So is there anyone out there still doubting that the videos actually do show him moving cars? Because there's some pretty professional eyes on this that aren't seeing him move cars. Yes, you may have seen lighting that appeared like cars were being moved, or maybe even other cars pulling into the parking lot. But you do not see Higgins get into a vehicle, start it up, and start moving the car with your own eyes on that screen. It all happens off screen, so... Yes, I agree. That's bullshit. Kids don't need to be there. Exactly. So, I hate to disagree with your last comment, and I'm not going to show it because I don't want to start a new debate, but the fact that Judge Gull protected the kids is saying a lot more than what Judge Bev's doing here. She's not protecting those kids. This is child abuse. Serious question. Is there a single person, just one, who... Oh, hang on. I just flicked over to the wrong tab. Where was I? Who sincerely believes that Yuri's thumbs up was merely to acknowledge the receipt of Proctor's messages, that he had not yet located any nudes, and or his description of Karen as that word. Did he acknowledge relevant case information received from Proctor with a thumbs up? Yuri, in this case, is easily one of the worst police witnesses I have ever observed. In summation, it should be asked rhetorically if he is willing to lie about the small stuff. Don't you think he's willing to lie about the important stuff, like taillight pieces and condition of the taillight? We are totally on board with you, Mr. Betterow. Alan should note that there were no women in this text chain. Dun dun dun! The MSP rubber duck investigator is now using the First Amendment as a shield for Proctor's right to call Karen Reid names. Buchanan is really going to say that's what it says without conceding the contents of the text a fact? This is a complete disgrace, and the Mass State Police should be ashamed of itself if this is how their supervisors testify. This attempt to pass words and avoid admitting undeniable facts is pathetic. Dude's got away with words. I like his level of indignation. So I can time myself out. No, it's okay. I know how terrifying it is to be on the stand at age 11, having to sit 10 foot from my attacker. Well, that's awful. Sorry you had to do that. People were saying he moved only one car. I felt exactly how I felt when they were going through Karen Reid's drinks. I didn't freaking see any of that. Same compo. What you see him actually do, not what you're told you're looking at on the screen, but what you can literally see happening on the screen. For those who haven't watched my counting drinks video, that was the purpose of that exercise, was to see where we actually saw on the screen Karen put a glass to her lips and take a sip. Because all the other shit in between was not Karen Reid putting a glass to her lips. It was just Bukaki narrating what he wanted you to see. Proctor in court said he was Chip on the text stream, but isn't Chip a nickname for Chris? No, I'm pretty sure Chip was his nickname on that text exchange. I don't know where else you heard Chris being called Chip, but anyway. We have discussed Brennan's penchant for ouch objections, but this is the mother of all ouch objections. The DA's predicament was caused by their failure to call Proctor and the court's denial of a police procedure expert. The answer is not to say no MAS and make the court stop it because it hurts. Evidence, they want to stop the... I'll read through it just in case people haven't seen it, all right? Hanks requests a voir dire with Yuri. Jackson's cost of Yuri is going so terribly for Hanky, and he spent this weekend filing a motion to stop Alan Jackson from asking questions about the lack of investigation done by police. Even if he wants a voir dire of Yuri, he even wants, so he can see what Jackson will ask before he does it in front of the jury. Dun dun dun. Needs the heads up. Oh my God, we didn't expect this to happen. Evidence that certain tests were not conducted, that certain police procedures were not followed, or that certain information known to the police about other suspects was not investigated in circumstances in which it was reasonable to expect that the police should have conducted such tests, followed such procedures, or investigated such information is admissible. See, he opens it with his own fucking own with his own his own goal. Hang on, coffee. However, a defendant does not have an unfettered right to elicit evidence regarding the adequacy of the police investigation. The admissibility of such evidence hinges first and foremost on its relevance. Well, Jesus, I would have to ask you, if you're not going to call the relevant, since we're on the topic, witnesses, what are you calling relevant? That's an own goal. Again, stating his own fucking... oh my God. This dude is unreal. All right. Let's go to the next page. Fucking blah, blah. Well, Bowden preserves the defendant's right to attack the adequacy of the police investigation. That attack is still constrained by the rules of evidence. Nothing in the Bowden case authorizes a defense to introduce otherwise inadmissible hearsay. The defense's attempt to elicit inadmissible hearsay under the guise of a Bowden defense is improper. Oh, you want to talk about improper now, do you? The defense has failed to establish that certain information, particularly confidential materials provided by the USAO, were known to Sergeant Yuri Buchanan, or that in these circumstances it would have been reasonable for police to investigate such information. For example, the federal government's decision to obtain cell phone records of an investigator and civilians. Wait. Why is he talking about the Fed investigation in a motion in this case that is currently underway? That's not allowed to be mentioned, dude. Sorry. I was wetting my mouth. The under Bowden, it must be reasonable. I don't know how you're going to say it. Okay, it's Bowden or Bowden, depending where you live. It must be reasonable to expect that police should have followed certain procedures or investigated such information to be admissible. The question repeatedly proffered by the defense are an improper attempt to admit otherwise inadmissible evidence. Well, dude, don't you have to actually have this all go through to be able to find out if it's admissible? But no, we're back to filing motions to stop them from making it admissible. I don't want it to be admissible. Long story short, the Commonwealth requests a voir dire hearing of Sergeant Buchanan for the court to determine whether areas of the defendant's proffer of Bowden evidence is admissible before evidence and argument is made to the jury. What was the result of that in the end? Do we need to go and look at what the result of that was? Or did she just do her usual bullshit and say, I'll take it under advisement and not rule on it? I literally don't know what the result was because I fell back to sleep. Chat's gone quiet on me. Where are yous? Holy shit, I've lost everything. I've got no chat at all. Are you serious? The fucking software. Oh my God. I am so over Restream. It created a new stream. For real, for real? Oh, Christ. I only just realised now. I'm looking in the chat going, where the hell is all this shit I'm supposed to be seeing? Let me just put that on private. That was dumb. And I'll reset the time on that for tomorrow. Fucking hell. No, I saved the changes, you moron. Oh, look, there you all are. Oh my God. Hate you, Restream. Like, I follow the same procedure that I do every day. It's so unpredictable. Oh my God, Hayden. I'm like swearing at the Restream. I'm gonna switch over to OBS and start doing this myself. I just got to pick a theme. I really just haven't had time to set up a theme for it so that everything looks cool on the screen. So, but thanks for dropping in, Hayden. All right, so everything came in all at once. Simply inadmissible. Michelle coming in with the tunes there. Yes, surprise. Different stream. I'm sorry, Hayden, you didn't get notified because Restream created a completely new stream for some reason. It's really fucking annoying me. I'm going to get out of Restream and just go through OBS straight to YouTube, I think, or something along those lines. Anyway, that's what we got, guys. We have a surprise motion asking for that, and Bev gave it to him. Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk? In addition to the incorrect hearsay argument, Buchanan supervised the investigation. For him to be unaware of key facts and information is per se significant to the Bowden defense. It was an own goal. It was an own goal. I agree. Mark, have you ever seen anything like this? Isn't that why you prep a witness beforehand? Yes, witness prep would have helped. So you would have calling Proctor. The defense still may have to do so, but a mid-cross motion to force the defense to preview its further cross on a defense that the people failed to do a proper investigation is not something that you usually see. Also, the questions being sought are not being offered with the truth of the matter asserted. So the hearsay argument is weak. But Bev ruled it anyway. It's always good to have an attorney to give you some feedback on how that works. So no, Chip, because I don't feel like fighting over it. If the attorneys didn't see it, the jury didn't see it, it's not a fight we need to have. We don't need to fight over it. Let's not pick fights that we don't need to pick. Every time Brennan talks, it sounds like a sack of cats being swung around, right? Right? So, thank you, Michelle. Oops, hang on. Whoops, hang on. Michelle, thank you for that. And I don't want to fight with people. I don't want to have this fight. I want to keep fighting over stupid shit. Let's not fight. You don't need to show me. Chip, your need to fight about it is bigger than my interest in fighting about it. Does this make sense? I don't want to fight about it. I want to fight with people about stupid shit that the jury's not going to listen, hear or see or listen to. I'm here to explore what the jury is thinking, and by looking at, some people think they were told by the mechanic that the car was being moved and some lights moved, so they put the two and two together and think the car moved. That's fine. Some of the jury might think that. Some of the jury's going to think what I think. That's not what I saw on the screen. So it's all down to who's actually looking at it, right? Aiden says Ken Berkowitz is likely burning in hell right now. He quite clearly was involved in the cover-up of a murder, and he knew that an innocent woman had an upcoming murder retrial. He died without even leaving a note confessing to what he had done, despite having nothing to lose at that point. Okay, so first of all, is this speaking ill of the dead? No. most people do confess to their sins on their deathbed because they got nothing to lose at that point. It's just pointing out the obvious. Hayden says, I can't praise OBS more. It just makes having guests a bit of a pain. Even, yeah, that's right. I'm just lazy too. That's why I haven't got it. I mean, it's installed on my laptop and I use it to do my pre-records. If I'm after, effects that OBS does, like the sound meter, for example. I forget what it's called. Animated sound meter. I know it's got a name and I'm just not thinking of it right now, but it's actually way better than any of these softwares. But like you, I just have it set up all the extra screens. So for those who don't know what we're talking about, it just comes with a blank screen. You start OBS up, you just got a black screen. You literally have to create all of the screens where if you've got 2 people on, or if you've got 3 or 4 people on. Whereas if you're doing it through Restream or StreamYard, those are all automatic. Like however many people you get, it automatically changes everything. But in OBS, you literally have to set all this up first before you can have those guests. And if you get 3 guests on and you haven't got a screen set up for 3 guests, it goes on. I'm just lazy, like Hayden. It's less laziness and more having the time to fuck around with it. So I think we're both in the same boat there, Hayden. Like having that time, because it does take time, right? It's a fuck around. Anyway, but I will switch over to the OBS eventually. In fact, I can do some fun stuff with the OBS. I can actually animate my mouth moving here. This particular avatar that I have here, when my son made it, he made it so that I could animate it. I could blink the eyes and raise the eyebrows and do different facial expressions, and the mouth will open and close when I'm talking. So, again, you can do that in OBS. I can actually animate my avatar. But, yeah, it's a lot of fucking around to set it up. So, I had it all going, and then my laptop, snuffed itself. Sent it in for repairs, came back with a completely new hard drive and new everything, motherboard, the whole works, and had to start from scratch. So it actually wiped all my settings in OBS. It took me like 3 months to get it all working, to learn how to do it and get it all working. And then it was snuffed just from an update. Just because someone dies doesn't make them a saint, especially Berkowitz. Thank you, Lon Solo. He took the words right out of my mouth. All right. Let's see what Aiden says about today's shenanigans. Oh, he's currently live. We should just shut the fuck up and go watch Aiden. He's currently live. Nearly 3 hours yet. It's time to STFU. And some of the fucking around has to be done while you are live to make sure it's working. It's always fun. Oh, always fun. So there's so many things I can complain about with these pre-made Restream jobbies, StreamYard and Restream. I can complain to the ends of the earth about what they don't have, but they're convenient, right, Hayden? You just press play and it's all fucking there. So, the funniest thing happened the last couple of streams is I hit the end stream, but because I'm playing a music video, I want to hit the end stream just as the music video is finishing, and then stop the music video before it goes into an ad or the next music video. So when I do that, I hit end stream, then I go straight over to press the stop button on the music. It pops. There's a pop-up that comes up and says, "You sure you want to end the stream?" It flops behind. I don't see it because I'm on the other screen closing the music down. 2 or 3 streams now, we've actually thought we've ended the stream and we haven't. So people are still listening to me and Kevy having a background conversation, eavesdropping, you know. Yeah, I agree. If OBS could integrate StreamYard better, it'd be perfect. Actually, have you seen the Ninja? Have you seen the Ninja? What's it called? Ninja. Fuck, what's it called? Ninja something. Hang on, I'll tell you what it is. Oh, Google's cleared out my history. Wait a minute, has it been that long since I've been to the Ninja site? I'll share it with you because it is actually pretty good. Ninja streaming. Twitch Ninja, no. Come on. I'll send you an email, Hayden. So there's another one. It's got the word ninja in it at the start or the end or somewhere in between. When I find the damn thing. And it's got like all the back end so you can just drag those into your OBS without having to do StreamYard or Restream. And it's free, and you can have as many as you want on it, and it gives you all these extra features that you have in StreamYard, like share screen and all that sort of woo-woo. So when I find it, I'll send you the link. It's for probably more experienced operators, and if you're operating your OBS, you're probably in that category. So yeah, interesting. When I find it, I'll send you an email link to it. For some reason, I haven't been to it since YouTube cleared out my fucking history on me. So doo-doo happens. But yeah, so we're done. We're going to hang up now. We're going to go watch Aiden's stream and see what he's got to say about today's shenanigans. And we're all done. Sorry, Hayden, you just got here and I'm about to close down. I really just did a lot of venting about all sorts of shit, not necessarily the today's events, but I want you to come up and have a vent with me one day when you got time, of course. Will you do that? Love to all the homies from Cornpo. Overlord, yes, I've used it. It's by the guys that wrote the code for OBS. Yes. That's the one. What's it called now? I can't remember what it's called for some reason. But yes. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So being fluent with the OBS, I would have been surprised if you hadn't actually heard of it. So so it's good to have some other, tech heads who actually know what they're doing with this stuff. Happy to. Coolies. We'll organize it in the emails. Awesome. Thank you. All right, boys and girls, let's end this stream on some music. Let me see what music we've got. So we already played that one, but let's go with something that's got a little bit of a film clip that goes with it. Let's do the duck. If it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it's a duck, Your Honor. How's that? We got to watch an ad. Let's wait for the ad to fuck off. It's a duck. We shall go with It's a Duck. Let's do this, and I shall say hooray now, and we will hang up when this is finished. So bye, everyone.
A duck and talks like a duck. It's a duck.
Judge's gavel slams deceit. Lawyers dance, twist up their feet. Finger points truth in the air. Crime scene chalk, we got there. Witness falls under the glare. Truth lies hidden, but where? Evidence in shadow cracks. Guilty walks with ducks and packs. If it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's a duck. If it quacks with a snack and waddles in the track, it's stuck. It circles round the facts, can't hide from the luck. it's a duck. Twist the tail, they change their tune. Photos snapped under the moon. Bloody prints and muddy paths. Money trails that never last. Defendant's face behind a mask. Justice chained up to the past. Solitary cell they spin. Real truth trapped deep within. If it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it's a duck. If it quacks with a smack and waddles in the track, it's stuck. It circles round the facts, can't hide from the luck. If it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it's a duck.
No, not mad at you. Just bear in mind that you're not the first person who wants to have the conversation, and it goes on and on. So it's kind of like a series of questions along the same lines, and then I get blunt. So I'm sorry if I was too blunt. We're good. Okay, everybody. We're good. Bye.